Hi, welcome back to part 2 of the Warden Golden Lotus video. Last video you saw how I had no idea really how it worked. Well, I looked at Reddit and I found posts from over a year ago and I'm ready to go absolutely insane with this wand of regrowth. Feel free to jump ahead in the timestamps to get to the action. A big thanks to my new subs, Phil, Barbabot, Marcel, Diego, and 23 Snrek. My channel had 20 subs, so that's like a 20% gain. Thanks so much, I appreciate it. Speaking of subs, Snrek had asked in the comments of a previous video for me to talk about the seeds. Well, what great timing, because this run here is all about going nuts with the seeds. So let's have a look at them here. And I'm just going to be talking off the cuff of my knowledge here, what I would do with the seeds. So, on a normal run, most of the time, I'm not really using the seeds offensively, because you have to like throw them in a choke point and you have to manipulate the enemies to walk over them, and it takes a turn to throw them or to plant them. So most likely what I was doing, if I'm drawing some enemies in, I'll step through the door and then maybe I'll plant it and then I'll run away. Well, you kind of have to be careful, because if it's like a frost seed, it'll blow up and it has a 3x3 radius, so you're going to get chilled. If it's fire bloom, you're also going to get lit on fire. One of the most fun uses of the Stormvine, though, is if you can get the enemies to cross over a bridge, they'll get the vertigo debuff, which makes them walk in any random direction, and often they fall off the chasm and die, and it's just hilarious. But besides for the select few on a normal run, I'm rarely using the seeds in that kind of offensive manner. Most of the time, I'm turning them into energy to be used for the alchemy, so I can craft the endgame potions, or else I'm also turning them into the catalyst. Besides the select few, I'll just go over these quick. The ones I keep often for the defense are the Swift Thistles, because I used to always think you had to throw it and then step on it, but you can just click plant and it'll appear at your feet, and then you just click at your feet, and then you have instant like 5 or 6 free turns of the time bubble where you can just use that to run away. Unfortunately, when you spend that one turn to plant it, if you're surrounded by enemies, you will take a turn of hits, so make sure that you can survive that one turn. And then furthermore, with the defensive seeds, the Fade Leaf is a perfect get out of dodge situation. I actually used it in the previous video. And if I just don't even I don't want to fight these guys, I'm not in the situation, there's like ranged enemies around, so same thing, you just plant it and click on it and it'll just teleport you somewhere random. Could be bad. You could just end up in another room surrounded by more people or in a fire or something. But oftentimes, in my experience so far at least, I've been like landing in perfect good spots. And then the Sungrass, don't be fooled. In my experience, using it in battle doesn't work, because it only heals you 1 per turn. So that healing is not going to keep up with the damage you're taking. And the Earth Root I actually don't have, but the Earth Root can be a great one if you're taking a lot of hits. You plant it, click on it quick, and then you have this herbal armor, and all of a sudden you're super tanky. It can give you time to, whittle down the enemies until you're only left with 1 or 2 facing you. But so that's it really for the defensive ones. Oh, and also the Mage Royal. Since it gets rid of debuffs, if you're dropping down a chasm to the treasury room below, you drop down, you're crippled, you're bleeding, don't move, because crippled's going to take 2 turns, you'll take 2 bleeding ticks, but instead, plant it at your feet, click on it, the bleeding's gone, the crippled's gone. Big shout out to Reddit for those tips. So many good tips on Reddit, but I also like to make these videos because having them in video form is very helpful as well. So let's just kind of continuing to go over these seeds here. Snark, you mentioned you use them for making potions, and that's a great way to identify your potions, because if you have 3 of any of them, you can make the corresponding potion. So Stormvine, of course, is the levitation. Also keep in mind, if you step on a Stormvine, you're going to get the vertigo debuff as well, a harmful effect. But if you're the Warden, which I just happen to be playing Warden this run, well, they actually give you beneficial effects. So these special effects replace the regular plant effects, meaning that no plant is harmful for her to step on, which is absolutely amazing. And you're going to see with the Golden Lotus of this buffed up wand of regrowth how we just like become like a firebug, because the fire bloom, instead of setting us on fire, is going to imbue us in fire, basically making us have this exotic potion right here. Will be imbued with fire, allowing us to set enemies aflame, and will be immune to it. So I'm going to make all this grass, imbue myself with fire, and I'm just going to light everything on fire. It's going to be amazing. I'm super excited. I've never done this before, but it looks crazy. Moving on. Oh, and also with the Golden Lotus, the plants take effect immediately. So instead of throwing the seed and having the enemy have to step on it, they'll just immediately be affected by it. So if I have a Golden Lotus down and we're on around a chasm, I can just throw a Stormbind, they'll be vertigo, and hopefully they'll run off the cliff. I'll try it out. It should be fun. This makes the invisibility, the levitation potion. The Swift Thistle, if enemies step on it, we're lucky that nothing really happens. They don't get like the time bubble or anything. Oh, also Stormbind on the darts gives you like extra electrical damage. It's okay if you're using darts for damage, like if you have a good crossbow. Anyways, Swift Thistle, well, that'll make the haste potion, of course. And like I mentioned earlier, it gives you that great time bubble chance to run away. With the Golden Lotus, it just makes you like freezing time and doing whatever you want. The Warden gets an extra turn of haste along with the time bubble. Star Flowers, I don't usually use. Oh, yeah, so Stormvines I usually use for energy. Swift Thistle, safe for defense. Star Flowers make the experience potions, which are pretty valuable. So 3 of them, you get a full level, free level, or you can turn it into the exotic version, which gives you 2 extra talent points. Very nice. If you step on it, you get the Blessed buff, which is like extra 25 or 30% accuracy invasion. Pretty nice if you have extra, but I don't often find I have extra. Also, you can craft these with a bland fruit, and it'll also, so when you eat the bland fruit, you also gain a level. I'm pretty sure. I haven't done that, but it sounds pretty sweet. I think if enemies step on it, they get the blessed buff too, so be careful about that one. So the blind weed, obviously, if your enemies step on it, they become blinded. This falls into the offensive category where in regular runs, I usually turn them into energy because like I said, it makes it it's hard to get the enemies to step on it. With the Golden Lotus, though, you'll see I'm going to be blinding them and I'm going to be shooting them from far. It's going to be awesome. This will make the invisibility potion. Yeah, invisibility potion. And also if a Warden steps on it, instead of being blinded, you become invisible. Seed of Fire Bloom, obviously potion of liquid flame, sets enemies on fire. Makes the... I often will tip and do the fire tips because if I'm doing darts, I'm not really going for like the big like extra damage, but being able to apply status effects on the darts is where I find them the most useful. So lighting them on fire or poisoning them. Fade Leaf, I mentioned often keep for defense, so I can drop it and just teleport somewhere. The Warden will get teleported always to the stairs. I think the stairs back up or the stairs down. Yeah, it said, I was reading the wiki, it said the stairs down from the previous level, I think, so that would be the stairs up. Anyways, the Warden gets teleported right to the stairs if you use the Fade Leaf. You can, if you get an enemy to step on it, they'll like get teleported away. Same with the darts, I believe. If you tip it on your dart, it's going to teleport the enemy away, but your dart's going to be stuck to them, so it's going to be like a big adventure trying to get you got to find that enemy and kill them to get your dart back. So 3 of them will make... Oh, they make the Mind Vision potion, which is interesting. It's not something that I would intuitively imagine. The Sungrass is great if you can get in a nice corner and hide out and take a little nap. It'll heal you up really quick. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, it can a bit deceptive to try to use defensively in a fight because you'll be taking like 10 damage a turn, but only healing 1. 3 of them, of course, make the healing potion, but you can actually only make 10 healing potions from Sungrass a run. So the game does have built-in limitations to stop you from making infinite healing potions. And I don't know if enemies, if they step on it, if they will get healing or not. Let me know if you know. The Warden gets the same effects, but you don't have to hold still. You just get the healing debuff and you'll heal 1 per turn. Like it'll be your max hit points too. So you'll get like a 90 point pool over, 1 hit point per turn. So these ones I usually don't turn into energy. Ice Caps. Oh, by the way, the Swift Thistle, it gives you haste, but if you put it on a dart, it slows your enemies down. So that could be interesting if you want, it's kind of like a chill effect. Speaking of chill effects, well, you have the Ice Cap. Hard to use this one offensively. You have to get the enemies to step on it. I often use this one for energy. Of course, it crafts the potion of frost. With the Warden, you step on it, you become imbued with ice, just like you'd be imbued with fire. So your shots will slow them down. That's like having the chill enhancement, I think, on your bow. Pretty cool. Normal runs, like I said, I usually use it for energy or for making catalysts. I often find I have a lot of them as well. Anything else interesting about the Ice Cap? Nope, not so much. Mage Royal we mentioned, super great for taking off those bleed effects. The Warden will also get a purification barrier. So these ones make the potion of purity. On a dart, they actually remove your enemy's buffs, which could be useful. Seems kind of like a corner case. But often I will keep these, just for those chasms for sure. Sorrow Moss, I do like these ones on a tip, on a dart, because they apply, damage over time effect, which could be pretty useful. Often though, I will turn these ones into energy, use them for catalysts. Same reason as the other offensive potions or the other offensive seeds. The Warden though becomes imbued with toxic gas. So it's so cool with the Warden that you basically get the exotic potions. This, you step on this, you become toxic essence. Pretty sweet. Immune to gas and you emit gas. Sounds sweet to me. Sounds like me if I didn't take my Beano. Anyways, that's another topic. So the one I'm missing, one of my favorite is the Earth Root. I often will, when I used to play just the original Pixel Dungeon, I would always use the Earth Root for goo. I would just get to a tile behind the door that had water, I'd drop an Earth Root, stand there, and I'd just tank the whole thing. Still a viable strategy, still how I started playing Shattered again after this few years. Another amazing use for the Earth Root is on your darts because it makes the paralytic darts. Paralyze is such a good status effect, basically just like permastun for 3 to 5 rounds or so. Also, crafting 3 of them in a potion makes the paralytic gas, which I find to be a rare potion. My last 2 unidentified potions are like paralyzing and experience, and I usually only have a couple of each one, but it's hard for me to really spend 3 earth roots to craft a paralyzing potion because I just love them so much on the darts, and I love being able to step on them in an emergency to get all that extra armor. The Warden gets like the same thing, but it's in bark skin form, so you don't have to hold still. Very similar to the healing potion or the healing grass. When the Warden steps on it, you're not limited to just staying on that same space, which can be great like if you have to move for some reason, or like I was gonna say in the prisons if you get like pulled off by a prison guard, but you're not a warden yet in the prisons. So that about covers it. I hope that was helpful. It was a mouthful, and I hope if it was boring to folks, they went ahead and jumped ahead in the timestamps. So let's get moving on this run. Actually, you know what? That was like a 12-minute rant just on seeds. So I think I'll make this I think I'll stop this one here, and I'll follow up with the next video where we actually get into the run and get into the action and we start going nutso with this wand. So we'll just make this like part 1.5 instead of instead of part 2, this is part 1.5. It's all about seeds.